Well, yeah, it goes back to the first thing, which is like the most traumatic events that happen in our life. They happen for us, not to us. But when you expand the time horizon, like those things, and to be fair, there are people who do have really crappy things happen to them, and then it destroys them, and then that's it, and then they're just done, and that's all it is.
Not everyone has like a moderate amount of childhood bullying and
Everybody
an only child with like parents that care about them or whatever. Like,
because you were a child coping with the world with the coping skills of a child.
I'm still largely that as an adult infant.
Right. And so, but I think that, I mean, the key, at least for me, my key takeaway from both of these kind of stories is more that.
Why are you still using bots for your meetings?
How else am I going to remember what happened?
Just use Granola.
Okay, what's Granola?
With Granola, you get all the benefits of a note taker, but it never actually.
All of the negative things that happen on the micro have the opportunity, if doubled down on, to be huge wins in the macro, and sometimes in ways that just a micro win would never have the ability to be doubled down on and become a capital W win in the macro.
This is probably one of the heaviest hammer blows, I think, for today, this next one. This is a real hammer blow.
Anger tweeting? Great.
No, it's not. It's an existential one.
Oh, fun.
You've already achieved goals you said would make you happy.
Yeah.
You've already achieved goals you said would make you happy.
Alex's notes to self, right? Because we all know the happiness formula, which is when this happens, I'll be happy, right? When X, I'll be happy, or if X, I'll be happy. And so I've set up that equation. I'm sure I know you've never set up this equation for yourself in your life, but I've set that up, and I think that just serves as my biggest reminder. But it's also why I probably am a pretty existential nihilist overall, because I've had so much evidence that none of those things, quote, brought me joy, but the things that we were talking earlier about anticipation being kind of the hot button on pleasure.
Yep.
I feel like the hot button on joy for me is what I'm doing right now. So like I haven't done the event yet. Right. I haven't given the presentation, but when I'm in the Rocky cutscene of beating, I'm not going to say beating the cow carcass, I'll say it that way. I was trying to avoid certain words. Anyways, that when I'm putting that work in and doing the reps, like that's when I'm actually my most in flow and enjoying myself the most. And so it's actually a lie that I've been telling myself that like once the presentation goes well, I'll feel good. Because in some ways now I feel like when the presentation happens, I'll be disappointed because I won't get to do this anymore.
Yeah.
I'll have to find something else to pick as a target so that I can get back into my Rocky cutscene. And so I think that has taken some time, and I've gotten better at it. I really do think I've gotten a lot better at it. At least recognizing, because the more times I've had W's and then realized that right afterwards I felt nothing, I had to think back of like, what are the things that I enjoyed most in my life? And it's always in pursuit. And I'm like, well then, why don't I set something really big, really far, so I can be in pursuit for the longest period of time possible? And that's where I think a lot of people from the outside, they cast their expectations of life onto me and say, I wouldn't live my life that way. You're always working, you're always doing these things. But it's like, I'm actually always spending my time in pursuit, because in pursuit is my button for enjoyment.
Well, what about if it wasn't achieving the thing at the end? If the reason that you set yourself goals is exclusively to motivate yourself to enjoy the route toward those goals. And I know that it's not the destination, it's the journey is kind of cliche.
Yeah.
And I think this is slightly subtly different, which is that it's actually about setting the destination. Without the destination, you wouldn't do the journey.
Yeah.
Like the way that you set goals and then achieve them, and the dopamine and the trigger that you get. I often think about the balance between like serotonin Chris and dopamine Chris. And
I don't even know the difference between those.
Well, it's like, am I feeling sort of lovey and present and wanting to connect with people, or am I driving toward a thing because I have a goal that's in front of me? And I'm very sort of dopamine Chris a lot of the time. But I genuinely think that if you remind yourself, these are the golden years.
Yeah.
Like this right now,
Yeah.
this, when you look back, these will be the golden years, right? When I had my health, I had my full mental capacity. I had control of my bladder. I had all of the money that I needed to do the things that I wanted, to crush it with my friends, to fly around America and film these podcasts, or to launch this book that I spend all of this time on. Yeah. And you can even see it in the micro. You can even see it when you look back on stuff that you've done in your day-to-day business, or what you did at university. What were the times that you enjoyed? Was it when success came to you easily? Or was it when you stayed up and ordered Domino's because you had that project that needed to be in at 6 a.m. and you ran an all-nighter and John slept under the table and everybody ordered Monsters, and then the next morning we got it done? What was good about that? Was it when you submitted it? Or was it the Domino's and the 3 a.m. sleep under the table? Because I'm pretty sure it's that.